little artist. For today's project, I'm going to be using some watercolors. I have my paintbrushes ready. I have some water and paper towels. And I have some nice thick paper. Anytime we're using watercolors and paint, we want to use a nice thick paper. Watercolor paper is the best, but even a cardstock paper will work better than just plain copy paper. I'm going to start by drawing. Anytime we're creating a picture, painting, photograph, anything like that, we don't want to put our subject that we're trying to call attention to in the middle of our picture. We don't want it to be right slam in the middle by itself. We want it to create some type of interest by being over to one side or the other, or to not really be in the corner by itself, but just not dead set in the middle. What we're going to do, instead of drawing our subject matter in the middle of our picture, we're just going to slightly come over to the side and we're going to start here. It could be a little up closer to the top, it could be a little closer to the bottom. It's your choice. You can put it wherever you would like. I'm going to put my cardinal right here on this side, looking this way, and then the end of my branches over here. So my tree would be on this side, and my branches would spread out to this side. But I'm going to start by drawing the bird, the cardinal, first. I'm going to start with a shape, and it's almost like a slice of watermelon. I'm drawing lightly so I can easily erase when I make mistakes. And there's also going to be some lines that while I'm drawing, I'm going to have to go back and erase. So please keep in mind, draw lightly. It'll be easier in the long run. Alright, and then I'm going to give him his little wing. Give him the little feathers right there. And now that I have that, I'm going to erase this. Now we're going to just make this a quick drawing because we want to spend most of our time on painting and our painting techniques. And then I'm going to give him a little black head. Can't forget his tail feathers. Kind of wide. Let me skinny that up a little bit. And his little eye. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw my first tree branch. Start at this edge. Remember, the tree's gonna be on this side, so it's gonna be, the branch is gonna be thicker here and get skinnier as it goes out. Branches are not straight, but at the same time we don't want them to be too wavy either. It's going to be thicker here and get skinnier. We want him kind of sitting on top. And then it's going to go out to some branches. Now remember, you want it to be irregular, nothing to be the same, because trees are not the same. Branches are all different. I am going to curl his little toes, just draw some little toes curled around his branch. And I can draw some more branches coming out in different spaces. If I do that, just make sure that I can erase that part. If I want some more branches this way, I need to keep in mind these branches are going to come behind my bird. That branch there needs to come out about right here. branch right there. That. And then if I want another branch up here to kind of balance out my space, I can do that. But I don't want to put too many branches all over. I want to leave some of this space blue sky so that I can add some snow. Now because it's winter, there will be no leaves on these trees, and they're just going to be the branches themselves. Now we're ready to start painting. Before we start painting, make sure that you've cleaned up all your lines, got all those little eraser pieces off, and make sure you're happy with everything that stays, because once we start painting, you cannot go back and erase your pencil lines. So just double check and make sure everything's cleaned up. Now that my drawing is complete, it's time to add color. Before I start painting, I'm going to use this white crayon to add little dots of snowflakes falling from the sky. I'm going to spread them out. I'm not going to put them in a straight line. And I'm going to try to make them little, but I am filling them in and adding little dots. I'm not specking real quick. There are different ways you can do this. You don't have to use a white crayon. You could go ahead and paint with watercolors and use acrylic to add your snow on top. It's up to you. And there's many different ways you could add the snow. This is just one way I'm deciding to do this today. Now that I've added my little snowflakes with the white crayon, I'm going to start by painting the background so you can see that those snowflakes are showing up. Don't forget that when using watercolors, you have to add water to your watercolors for them to work. Work in one area at a time, and there you can see that first snowflake. And you spread it out. If you want your color to be darker, you rub more paint on your brush and load in your brush. If you want your color to be lighter, use more water. Being very careful to use the tip of the brush to get around my branches. And I'm making sure to spread out my color. Now I want my cardinal to look real red, a very strong red, so I'm going to rub this paint quite a bit to make sure I get lots of red paint loaded on my brush, just on the tip. So I'm rubbing the side, trying to get more and more paint loaded on my brush. And now that I think I have enough, let's see if this looks more red. Once everything was painted and dry, I decided to use a Sharpie to go over all the pencil lines and outline all the details. I hope you enjoyed this project.